Hey everybody, it's Daniel Vasi from Vasi Games. Today I wanted to give you a very special little game idea that I have. I use this pretty often and it's one of my more enjoyable ones. It does involve a little bit of a setup. So let me show you what it involves. You've probably tasted these before. So these Bean Boozled are the Jelly Bellies that basically have a good flavor and a bad flavor that are both the same color and you don't know what you're going to get. You can find them in most stores, so especially like candy specialty stores. So for example, if you look at these flavors right here, you're going to get these in some packs. I know they change the flavors periodically, but a white one, for example, could taste like coconut or it could taste like a baby wipe. I'm hoping that's a clean baby wipe. You can also get some grosser ones, like for example, they've got the one of the grossest ones is, it's not on here, but a lot of times they'll have black ones, and one of them is black licorice, which is nasty by itself, but that's the good one. And then they have skunk spray, which literally stinks up the whole room once someone starts chewing on it. Now, once you get a box of these, all you need is one box. They're usually $2 to $3. You're going to bring it in, and this is how I do it. I get some little Ziploc baggies. So for example, my little Ziplocker. Got my Ziploc baggie, and I separate the flavors. So let's say that I've got all the blue ones. And I put them all in this Ziploc baggie. And then I go to the next color, and so on. So now I've got this little baggie. Let's say I get all my yellow ones. I mean, I love those buttered popcorns. Yeah, baby. But you could get in a rotten egg, and that's just not right in any country. So you've got these right here. You separate them all, and then what I do is I go through and label and number the baggies. So for example, let's say I put a 1 on this baggie, a 2 on this baggie, and so forth. I'm usually going to end up with like 10 bags. I can't remember how many colors the new ones have in them, but you're going to have all these little baggies with the colors in them. And then what I do is I create a real quick smartboard presentation, PowerPoint presentation, whatever you want to do, where it looks like this. Each slide has 2 things on it. So for example, here I've got the dog food, and then I've got the chocolate pudding. Now, those are like the reddish brown ones. It could be either of those flavors. So when you bite into that one, you're not going to know until you chew it a few times, and then it'll either start tasting like chocolate, and you're like, I love life, or it's going to start tasting like meat, and you're like, why is this jelly bean tasting like meat? And it stinks like dog food for like 10 feet away, and you realize you got a canned dog food one. You don't know which it is, though. This is what I do with the game. I have this on my smartboard, so I pull it up. This will be slide 1. So I know that it correlates with baggie 1. So then I call a student up. They stand in front of the smartboard or projector screen facing the class. So they can't see these 2 things when I pull it up. I give them baggie 1, tell them to close their eyes. They reach in and grab one of the good old Jelly Bellies. Oh no, it's so gross. They eat it, and then they sit up there, and usually you get 1 or 2 faces. They're like, that's not bad, or one of those 2 faces you're going to get. So you kind of know immediately, and it's pretty funny. The whole class usually cracks up. They just are cracking up because they can see behind them what it could be. So once they eat it, I have them take a guess at what it is. So let's say it's the good one, and they're like, I don't know, like chocolate or something. If they get it semi-right, I give them points for it. If it's the bad one, sometimes they guess that. They're like, oh, it's like dog food. And I'm like, you got it, you're eating dog food. And so I give them points for that. If they get it wrong, you can still give them points, and I'm going to explain how. Disclaimer, I've only had 1 student run to the bathroom and throw up because of this, so don't worry about it. The deal is this, though. Let me show you how you could use this in a class. So for example, math class. I teach math. You can use this very easily in probability, which is a thing not too many math teachers like to touch, but you could do something like theoretical versus experimental probability. You could say, in theory, what's the probability that you're going to get a bad flavor versus a good flavor? And then you could go through the whole class and say, okay, 20 people got a bad one, 6 people got a good one. What's the experimental probability of getting a bad flavor? So you can always do that, but you don't have to do math. You can use this again with anything. Let me give you an example. Let's say that we're doing a history class and you want students to remember a lot of these historical dates. Okay, so you break them up into 2 groups and they answer questions. If the group gets it right, they get some points. So let's say group 1. You're like, what year did the Civil War happen? Don't ask me any of that because I know none of that. But let's say that they get it correct. So you're like, every question is worth 10 points. They answer correctly with the right date. So you give them 10 points. And then you're like, okay, now you have the opportunity to get 3 more points. 1 point for coming up here and volunteering to take a Jelly Belly. And so let's say a student does. So you give them the +1. And then 2 more points if you get the flavor correct. So they're, it's so disgusting. That's a rotten egg. You're right. You're eating rotten eggs. You get +2. So now they just got 13 points. You can do things like that. And you might be thinking, that's a lot of work and I could just give these kids a quiz. But let me tell you this. Not only are the students going to enjoy this whole review 100 times better and talk to their friends about it, you're gonna enjoy the review. If you are sick of just doing the same old, here's a review sheet, go over it, you're gonna be ready for this test. Try this one time. You're gonna find out you feel that little weird feeling inside called excitement and joy, and you're gonna be happy that you did something different. So this is just another example of something you can try in class that the students absolutely love, and it's gonna bring you joy. You're gonna look forward to going in and reviewing or going over whatever topic you're covering that day. I hope you like this one. If you have any other ideas, leave them in the comments and be sure to like and subscribe. See you next time.